Yes, people, welcome back. Team Talk TV, episode 71. We are back after a very long international break, and we've got a packed show as always. It's 5 of us on the show today. The main 2 boys, Coach and Ibs.
Wow.
And
you know what? Finally.
I say, because you know what it is? Whatever I say, you guys are going to be upset, but this time I'll make you guys happy.
Finally.
And we've got Dan Stelios. Great to have you on the show. Dan, how you doing?
Always happy to be here. So yeah, I'm good.
We will come on to Chelsea after a surprising result later on in the show. And last but not least, we've got Nacy. Nacy, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man. You good, bro?
Yeah, all good, thanks. All good.
All good, bro.
Right, we're going to start off very quickly then, as we've just watched Manchester United beat Brighton Hove Albion by 2-1. Coming from behind, it was at Danny Welbeck who scored against his former club. And then, of course, it was in the second half, Rashford and Greenwood who turned around for Manchester United. So very quickly, I guess it's only right to start off with you, Coach, being the Manchester United supporter. Happy with the performance? Was it game of 2 halves, which for me seemed like it did? What do you think of the 3 points today?
Not happy with the performance, but it's 3 points. We're at that stage of the season where that's just what we need. Performance-wise, listen, we know what we need. The 4-2-3-1. There's not enough passing lanes. We know we only play 2 in front of the back 4 because we don't trust the pairing at the back. The spine's a bit loose of the team, needs to be sorted out this summer. But in terms of the game, it's nothing special. More of there's a ricochet, there's a breakaway, than a bit of brilliance. Good time run by Rashford. Good pass from Bruno. Great finish from Rashford into the corner. Hopefully he's not injured for too long. And whatnot. But yeah, there's really not much to say about that game. But Welbeck scoring, it was just typical. If we would have lost the game 1-0, Welbeck scoring, I mean, that just typifies us, boy, like, and whatnot. Goal we gave away, loose ball from Pogba, but no one will talk about that anyway because, whatever. But yeah, loose ball from him, sleeping at the back from Wan-Bissaka. I said about Wan-Bissaka anyway, I think United will bring in a right back. I don't know why, but I think they'll bring in a right back because I think he's too casual sometimes. I don't know, I just see him sometimes as a bit too lazy with anticipating things. He's not proactive enough sometimes, but hopefully he will learn that moving forward. But on the whole with United, listen, I'm not going to take up much time. Like you said, Shahab, game of 2 halves. Brighton had the first half. They played well. And probably what I would say about Brighton, even forget Man United, like Brighton, I'm thinking of an English manager that's played brave football like, what's his name? Like Graham Potter. Can anyone think of one?
I think Scott Parker. I think Parker plays brave football.
Okay, Scott Parker as well. Yeah, Scott Parker as well. Yeah. I think Gary Potter is just ahead of Scott Parker, to be fair.
And I think Pep Allardyce as well.
Who?
Pep Allardyce.
Yeah, we'll get onto those guys. But yeah, for me, Graham Potter as an English manager, he plays good football. Brighton, yeah, you can see if Brighton had a bit more, they had a bit more quality in certain areas, they could have caused real damage to United today. So shout outs to them and for the brave football they play. In terms of us, it's just a win. I think that takes us 11 points. Like they love screaming this top 4 stuff like it's a trophy. 11 points ahead of Tottenham and Liverpool and whatnot. And like guys keep saying, you want to get top 4, so you get the best players. They want to play in the Champions League. Okay, cool. So when we get top 4, I want to hear the excuses at the end of the summer for United for not getting the top players when we are in the Champions League. So, but yeah, that was it. It's just a win and we move on.
Yeah, obviously, we're not going to speak too much or too long for Man United. It definitely was a game of 2 halves. I thought Brighton were unlucky not to get a pen in the second half, but United did enough in the closing stages to win the game, and certainly seen that in this. I've personally seen it in the game. United just grinding out a few victories, so another one there and staying and solidifying that top 4 spot. That's what United have done today. And talking about players which they could sign, obviously there's always going to be a lot of noise on these 2 players. Now, I'm going to ask you, Coach, first, and then any of you 3 guys could just take the next answer. Who do you think is more important or will be better for United to sign? Erling Braut Haaland or Jadon Sancho?
For me, it's got to be Sancho because most of our attack comes on the left wing and it's so predictable. Haaland, at the end of the day, he's still a striker. He needs service. So for me, I think you can plug a Sancho and get away with a. I don't want to say Martial because hopefully we've seen him. Hopefully, well, not hopefully that he's still injured, but he's saying that he's injured for the rest of the season. So that hopefully that's the last time we see him in a United shirt. But in the middle, I would have a Greenwood and a Sancho there instead of having a Haaland and a Greenwood on the right. That's what I would prefer, because I think when you got two threats like Rashford and Sancho coming from each way, it allows us to transfer the ball from side to side, being dangerous in each way. Everybody knows with United, if it's not Rashford and Shaw, when it goes to Wan-Bissaka, you know what's going to happen. It's going to peter out to Daniel James on the right there. Does his Stuart Ripley stuff? If there's no Ripley space across the ball, it comes back, and it goes all the way back to Lindelof. So everybody knows we're quite predictable on the right. We haven't got enough X factor on the right. We haven't solved that problem since Cristiano left in 2009 and whatnot for me. I mean, we've plugged Valencia, we've plugged all these other players. They're just not good enough at the end of the day. So for me, Sancho is more important than Haaland. But listen, if we end up in the summer someone saying, oh, we don't get Sancho, we get Haaland, then I'm not going to be saying, you know what I'm saying, blowing my top off saying, oh, we got Haaland and whatnot. So, but out of the two, if someone gave me a choice right now, I would have to take Sancho because of how our team is constructed. If we just go off stats, where a lot of people do, then obviously it's Haaland because he bags the goals. But for me and how our team is constructed, we need that right winger. We need to open up the pitch a bit more, because it seems like we play on predominantly one half of the pitch, which eliminates our football. So if we have Sancho, I think we can play a more expansive game. And I think Sancho is better at 1v1 situations than all of the players we have up front. All of our so-called wingers, strikers, whatever it is, in 1v1 situations, he's much better in tight spaces. It's not just kick and run. Like we've got Rashford, who's quite kick and run-ish. You can slow it down a little bit. We've got Daniel James, kick and run. We've got Greenwood, he just wants to shoot from anywhere, which I think he's a striker. I don't think he's a wide player. So for me, Sancho will be more important.
For as long as we're doing this podcast this season, Coach, I know that you've been very vocal on United signing someone on that right-hand side. And yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's all down to Manchester United trying to get this deal done with Jadon Sancho. It's clear that they want him. Haaland, obviously, he's been speaking to the agents in Barcelona, and then he's going to speak to someone or the representative rather, in Barcelona, then Madrid, then he's going to travel to England. It's going to be a crazy summer to see where he ends up. If Dortmund don't finish in the Champions League and they look like they're not. I think the player that Haaland is, if there's an opportunity for someone to sign him, you just take it. But of course, the way Man United are set up, the way that they play, it's only right that Sancho's probably someone that I can understand why you're saying him. But if I ask you guys, who is more needed at United? Any one of you three, who do you pick, Sancho or Haaland?
Can I go?
Yeah, got to be, obviously, if I was a United fan, got to be Haaland, just because I think players like him, they come by once in a blue moon, whereas wingers now, with Sancho, he's obviously done well, but we need to see a bit more. And you could still, I know you could counteract it and say, okay, but we still need to see Haaland do it over a longer period of time. But I just think with Haaland, it's no doubt you understand, he's going to be a great lad.
Even the way our team's constructed, Nacy.
Again?
Even though the way our team is constructed right now.
That's obviously you're a United fan, innit? So you're going to look more into maybe a bit more deeper analysis than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just team constructed. But I think to answer your question directly, yes, because I think he's just that good. Whereas this Sancho, with a winger, it can be very, very frustrating if you're trying to make things happen. The rest of your team's not working. I feel like Haaland is just one of those guys. You put him in most teams, this guy is just going to bag you goals. Whereas let's say if United don't quite cash in on Sancho, there's always another winger that might come up. Plus Sancho, we don't know, he's not wingers. If you look at it, they're not really, strikers are really the players nowadays that have a 10, 12, 15-year consistent span of career. You can't think of too many wingers that are, you understand, that are going to have like this, with not many Ryan Giggses that are going to have 10, 15 years of excellent consistency at the top. If I'll tell you to name me strikers, you name them off the top of your head. Get me quickly like that. And I think Haaland is one of those guys. Sancho, whilst I think personally he's the best English striker, it's one of those, anything can happen. We might be sitting here in 2-3 years saying, oh, what happened to Sancho? Where did it all go wrong? Whereas I can't see that happening with Haaland. I think United being the club they are, if they miss out on Sancho, cool. They'll get some another Bagazalandinho from Brazil out of the blue in 3 years. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Stelios, I know you wanted to speak, so yeah. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, no. To be fair, I think Natie's spot on. You look at the United teams of old. There's always been a recognised solid number 9, really, and I don't think that they have one at the moment. So even if you bring Sancho in to add that creativity, who's he creating for? So I think when you put someone like Haaland up top, he gets you goals even because he's so fierce and aggressive in the box. Even if someone like Daniel James is putting in like half chance balls into the box, you see Haaland probably getting a few goals from them. So for me personally, I think it's a no-brainer. Haaland has to be United's first choice. But
have you seen the difference between Haaland when Sancho's there and when Sancho's not, though?
Of course, but then he's still banging goals now when Sancho's injured. Do you get it? And that he is. You can't say because he is.
Not at the rate when Sancho's around. Not the chances that he's creating.
He still scores goals. The guy is a natural goal scorer. It's like, for me, natural goal scorers are so rare, man. They're so hard to come by. And this guy he's going to be a quality generational talent. You can just see it just because of how consistent he is with taking chances. So
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I can understand where coach is coming from simply because, you make a good point as well, Nacy and Stellis, because who's going to be the man on top to score those goals? But definitely down that right hand side, just the extra quality, and if they were to play Greenwood there, the young kid, really good finisher, I think personally is an interesting one. But I do agree with Nacy and Stellis the fact that Haaland is just the next person who's going to be going at that level with Mbappe. And if I was in charge of United, God forbid, I would definitely pick Haaland as well. I mean, it's a quick answer: Sancho or Haaland?
It'd have to be Sancho because United have zero chance of getting Haaland. So.
Really? Zero chance?
Zero chance.
I wouldn't say zero.
He would not go Man United over the clubs he can go to. No chance.
Well, would you have said that about Pogba as well when he left Juve?
Yeah, but Pogba had the influence of he played for United. There's that connection.
Yeah, but come on, look how he left United though. It wasn't
but he had unfinished business. Haaland would never go United. I'm sorry.
Anyway, this is the beauty of modern day technology. If Haaland does end, we've just got another beautiful soundbite courtesy of him. Another meme in the making potentially.
For me, Sharp, just to wrap it up, with Haaland, like Ibs was saying, for me as well, there's too much baggage that comes with Haaland as well. Like for me, and not bad for him as a player. I'm just talking about the stuff around him. Like we're gonna get him on a 4-year contract, but after the 4 years, there's 100 mil release clause. Then there's this, then there's that. You know what Raiola's on. That's what I said. If United want Haaland, they have to use Pogba. They have to use Pogba as bait. They have to give Raiola and say, you know what, we're not going to sit down Pogba for the next year. You can go and get your move with Pogba, but you must make sure that we get Haaland. That's the only way for me we're getting Haaland. I do not see us getting Haaland at United and Pogba stays. Unless literally there are no clubs that want Pogba, that want to pay him that money, which I don't think they are at the moment, especially at his age and what contract he wants. But in terms of Haaland, we have to, if we want him, we have to work with Raiola. That's what we have to do. And he wants Pogba out. That's what he wants. First of all, he wants Pogba out before he's bringing any more star players into United. So I think that's what we have to do, personally, if we want him anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let me know in the comments below, guys. Interact with me on Instagram. Interact on the comments below. Who do United need more? Jadon Sancho or Erling Braut Haaland? It'd be an interesting one, but definitely a split choices, really. Stelios is back, so that's great. We'll go on to the next game in the Super Sunday, and it ended Newcastle United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. A late equaliser on loan from Arsenal, Joe Willock, against his arch rivals Tottenham. How Newcastle did not win that game, I'm not sure, but they've got a massive point in the fight for relegation. And Tottenham dropped yet more points once more. Did anyone really watch the game? Because it was a cracking game of football. Newcastle somehow, just chance after chance, they managed to get a point. Where did it all go wrong for Tottenham? Did anyone watch it?
I watched the first half from Tottenham leading 2-1, and then I didn't see the second half. But it was quite an open game. As you said, Newcastle had their chances. But, when you've got Harry Kane, in positions like that, he's always going to score. Newcastle, I believe they had 22 opportunities, something around those figures. So it's a lot for a team who are abysmal as much as Newcastle are. I know I have a few Newcastle haters who don't like.
You got scored, Ibs, man. You got scored on that subject.
But at the same time, they're a club who aren't doing well. But for them to have the performance they did is probably good for them. I think Joe Willock has worked out quite well for them as well. It's nice to see Joe Linton on the score sheet as well.
He loves scoring against Tottenham.
Yeah, he does. He scored his first Prem goal against Tottenham, I believe it was last season. But I don't know, Tottenham dropping points again is nothing new. I think Mourinho was quite harsh in what he said post-match, but it's nothing new.
What did he say?
Well, he pretty much blamed the players, really.
He said it wasn't a good point. I do agree with him, but...
it's not a good point, it's just real.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, how many times can you throw your players under the bus without taking responsibility?
Ibs, you're jumping topics, bro. Jose's the next one, bro. I'm ready to drop my tea on that as well.
No, but I'm just saying, out of all, it's just that them dropping points is nothing new. Yeah. As I've said many weeks, and Coach can agree with me here, their cup final is the most important game of the season.
Yeah.
Everything else for them is pretty much just free hits. Right. Like they can make a run and win 3 games out of the last 8, but if they win the cup, it's a good season. That's literally it.
I'm just going to come on to Tottenham and the bigger question, but before I do, I thought Newcastle. I mean, I've never seen Newcastle play like that under Steve Bruce ever. Wave after chances. They have to. They need to stay up. They've got a point. Fulham lost today to Villa 3-1. And fair play to Newcastle to get in the goal. Joe Willock, who started well, got injured, came on, scored. Fair enough to Newcastle. Ibs, you've got a lot of hate. My cousin is a Newcastle fan. Coach's best mate wasn't happy with you. You've annoyed a lot of people. But Newcastle got the point and it's one step closer.
Do you know what? I hope Newcastle stay up. You know, it's one of them teams that I've always wanted to visit their stadium because it's brilliant. But until they get rid of Steve Bruce, I don't see anything improving personally. So.
Yeah, definitely. Steve Bruce, I mean, that's the best I've seen him play for a long time. So the question on the agenda today on Spurs is, will Mourinho be given time to build his side? Obviously, regardless of whether he's in the cup final, regardless of where he is in the league position, whether they're finishing the Champions League or not. Do you think he will be given the time to do that? Or do you think Levy could be more harsher? I'm going to start with you, Nacy, because I know you're not a Mourinho boy. I'm not a Mourinho boy. I have to say it, and I did say in the last podcast that I'm not too sure. Obviously, I can't speak on behalf of Tottenham, but is it worth it regardless of winning the trophy? I'm not sure, but Nacy, I'm going to give you the floor. What do you think?
All right, let's go. I mean, we know we've got some super Jose fans on this call. I am a super Jose hater. Like, I dislike the guy as a human being. You can't take away what he's accomplished in the game. Credit to him. So to answer the question, will he be given time to build the Spurs side? I believe he'll be given at least another season. Does he deserve more time? If you look at the guy's track record, it's undeniable. You can't say he doesn't deserve the time. Now, my issue with Jose, and Ibs alluded to this, and this has always been my issue, is the guy is a deluded, disgusting, narcissistic human being. You understand? Very, very dishonest and disgusting. Now, we've all known Jose, and the question that was asked, let me even get the question up here, that the question the reporter asked him, allegedly. And again, this is from Twitter, so if it's fake, please forgive me. I don't know if anyone can confirm it, but apparently the report, and we know Jose, so I wouldn't be surprised. Apparently the reporter asked, in the past, you've been so good at holding on to leads. Holding on to leads is basically what you've been so good at. Mourinho's answer is same coach, different players. Now, why is it, and this is Jose fans also, when Jose wins, it's all about Jose, but when he loses, he's all about the players. And this is just a general thing with football fans that I just don't like, is the inconsistencies. Okay, you look at, I've always had a problem with Jose, and I've critiqued a lot of his successes. I said, listen, when he came to England, already he came to Chelsea at a perfect time. where they were working on a project and it was excellent timing. Fair enough, he got the job done. They had the biggest war chest in the country. It was all timing. Inter Milan, you go there, fair enough, you win the treble. You had a bit of fortune in the Champions League. If you saw the Barcelona game, I don't need to talk about it. If we talk about the league, you had the best Italian, the Inter Milan team at that moment. We all know about the Juve and the Milan scandal, where they were both, you can shake your head as much as you want, coach. We know you've got your Marino bedsheet, you can shake your head. There was no Juventus, that were winning the league season after season because they had that scandal. They were relegated and they punished for obviously the match fixing. Same thing that happened to Milan. Perfect time. Just as the league becomes non-competitive, where the main two rivals are, Jose comes in, walks the league, everyone shouts Jose again. But that's just all I have to say about the guy. He's a narcissist. We've seen more of it today. He's a very, very deluded individual. When he wins, it's me. When he loses, it's the players. And that's just a sick human being. By the end of the day, he's got cups, so we can't take away his cups from him.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what else to say. All right, fair enough, Nacy. You know what it is, Nacy. I agree with you anyway, regardless of your round that you've said. Regarding to Tottenham, we spoke about in the last podcast a lot whether it's going to be enough. So I'm gonna come to you, Dan, because I remember when you last time we talked about Tottenham, obviously you were saying there's a lot of time for Tottenham to get back into the top four. I think they're only a point behind Chelsea. Would have gone level with Chelsea if they'd won, or even fourth on goal difference. Do you think Mourinho will have the right time to build? Do you think he deserves it? What do you think on that question when I'm asking you? Like, does he deserve the time to be building the squad?
I do think he deserves a bit more time, personally. I know that they're not playing the prettiest football. He's doing everything he can to win with that side. Now, Nacy mentions obviously, like I'm pretty impartial when it comes to Mourinho. Like I think he can be good, but he's quite negative in his tactics. But he knows how to win games. When we look at the players, look at the back four today. Tanganga, Rodon, I think it was Reguilon and Sanchez. That's not a great back four, man. That's not a great back four. And for them to throw away the game like they did today, I'm not surprised with a defense like that. He is trying everything he can with that squad. And yeah, I just think that give him more time, bit more back in, we see what he does. I think one more season, he should get one more season. And if he gets one more season, does well with them, then obviously you keep him on for longer. But if not, then it's time to go. But the cup final is, I think if he wins that, then he's had a good season personally, even if they don't get top four. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Fair enough, Delios. I don't know. I think I'm going to be falling more to Nacy's side in terms of whether he deserves the time. I don't think his football's just not worth it for me personally. Tottenham already were getting top four, and he could still get it, of course, but I just don't see him getting it at all. I think he's got 2 tough games afterwards. Could be out of the race.
Yeah, but you say that, yeah. Now, Pochettino at the time had Alderweireld, Vertonghen, pretty much they're the 2 main centre backs that I can remember. Pochettino playing under Pochettino. The defense Jose's had this year is not great. It's not great. So he's overcompensated in tactics, trying to keep, because he doesn't want to concede, and that's the reason why they've looked so negative. I think if he gets the right players, the right back four, then add that to, you've got Son, Kane in attack, scoring goals. You've got to admit, like Kane's performance this season, he's reinvented his game, whether that's a tactical decision from Mourinho or that's him personally. I don't know that. There's no way to gauge that. But you have to look at Kane's performances this year and his role in the team. He looks like a different player in terms of adding more creativity to his game. So I think Jose's had somewhat of an effect going forward, overcompensated defensively, but I think that's just because they haven't got a great defense, personally. So
that's a fair point, Dan, to be fair, especially in Kane's game as well. And when you look at the back four, I just, it was only until you mentioned it, I didn't know it was that bad. But I think he does have a tendency to always blame the players at one point, and I think he did that at Manchester United as well. Did he do that at Chelsea's second spell? I don't remember, but he does have that sort of tendency and I think that's where this is probably coming from. I'm gonna ask you, Coach, because you seem like you're a Mourinho enthusiast. What have you made of his time at Spurs?
It's not enough time yet. I mean, he still needs time to bed down. Like Stelio said, his back four ain't great. We all know Jose likes to work with a good spine of the team. He hasn't had enough windows to do it. The good thing I think about Jose in terms of why I now maybe see why he works for Tottenham right now is because he kind of knows what he's walking into. Like, he knows you're not going to walk into a war chest. You might have to use some academy players, this, that, and the other. And I think Levy's just been quite upfront with him. So that's why I think that relationship works. In terms of Jose, like, people attacking him personally and that, you don't know the man like that. So getting that deep into it, I'm not really going to get that deep into it. Like, he could be the nastiest person in the world. He could be the nicest person. I don't know him personally. So I'm not going to go that deep into it.
Oh, what I see on the screen.
It's not that personal. It's not that personal. So in terms of Jose, even the reason why I like him, first and foremost, he's a coach that never played football. So he really got it from the ground up. Like, he's gone through the levels of football to get to where he's got to. And his resume speaks for itself. You can put it up against any manager that's ever coached football ever. And he's in and around the top 10. No one can say anything to him and whatnot in terms of his resume. In terms of people being turned off by him, Jose is just like how do I say it? For someone like me, everyone here has played football and that, I don't mind a manager like Jose because he's a guy that I would just love to prove wrong every single time I hear him speak. That's just my personality. That's just me. I'm not a person that just kind of has got a frail mentality where, oh, is he doing this to me? Is he saying that? And I'm not like that, me personally. And for him, that's what I said, the players over the years have changed. The players, when he first came, had a stronger mentality. They were more like men. Now you're dealing with boys. Most of your players in your squad nowadays are boys and whatnot. So that's why I said right now with Jose, if he wants to reinvent himself, which he does need to, for me, he needs to reinvent himself. And that's, even though I'm a fan of Jose, he needs to reinvent himself. Where I said before, he needs to step away from the coaching and be a manager and do what Fergie did. Fergie brought in Rennie. Fergie brought in Carlos Queiroz. That is what he needs to do, and just be the manager of the football club and whatnot. But just going back to your original question with Spurs, I think they'll give him time because of the relationship he's got with Levy. No one expected Spurs to be playing scintillating football. You had scintillating football with Poch. So what was Jose going to be? He wasn't going to be an upgrade from that football. Everyone knows what football Poch played, even at Southampton and stuff like that. He wasn't going to be more than that. It was about trophies. So going back to what Ib said, it's all about the cup final. If anyone's got anything personal against Jose, that's down to them and whatnot. It's not a personal thing with me and Jose. Like, Jose is the best person in the world and he's a wonderful guy. I just look at him as a coach. That's all I know him as. Do you get what I'm saying? So if people think that he throws his players under the bus too much, that's their opinion. That's what football's about. It's about opinion. But for me, the reason why I like Jose is for different reasons in football. But Spurs will give him time. Like Stelio said, I think they'll give him another year.
Just to add
if the football's not great, and he hasn't bagged that trophy, that Carling Cup trophy, he's on the clock. Because when the fans are back in the stadium, he's on the clock.
Yeah. No, just to add, I think Coach is right. I think I'm not sure if, again, this was I think a Twitter source when I heard Jose say, it goes back at, back in the day I was managing guys like Lampard, young Lampard at the age of 25 or something was already a man. And it's different in today's game. The players that I'm working with now haven't got the same, they're not built the same.
Yeah, so, they're
not. I think Coach is right in that sense. And another thing, I mean, you look at Pep in his first season with Man City, he got the resources, right? And he didn't have a great league campaign in his first year with City. The next year, they backed him heavy for him to go and win. Now, Jose hasn't got the same resources as Pep. But obviously, if you look at the time it's taken Pep to build a win inside, you're going to have to give that same amount of time and same amount of leeway to Jose, I think. And I think Levy's got that mindset and thinking, okay, well, look, this guy's got a track record of winning. I just need to back him and allow him to do what he wants to do, and hopefully it pays off. So I think he's going to get the time he needs, really. I'd say one more year. Are Tottenham probably going to win the league next year? I'd say realistically at this point, no. but it all depends on, they might go out and have an amazing transfer window. So you never know, really.
Time will tell, of course. And guys, in the comments below and interacting on us on Instagram, let us know, where are Tottenham at? Is Mourinho deservedly, should he have the right time? Is he right to throw his players under the bus, or was he not? Right, we'll go on to the next game of the weekend. But before we come on to Chelsea, we'll come on to the Ibs v Shahab derby, if I can even call it that. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 3. Diogo Jota brace from the bench and Mohamed Salah's second goal. Quickly, I'll just say on Liverpool, very easy. I thought, I was really surprised how easy it was. Was that surprised? I mean, I was impressed with Fabinho and Thiago. Fabinho's been absolutely a revelation back in that midfield for us. The young centre back is doing really well now, Zen Kabak. Salah, great. And Diogo Jota, fantastic. Just scoring goals again, scored in international break, Serbia and Luxembourg. Now 13 goals in 12 games in all competition. Fantastic, and great preparation for Liverpool against Real Madrid on Tuesday night. So yeah, I'm very happy with Liverpool, very pleased. It was a really easy performance. We will come on to Arsenal, Nacy, and he'd be probably very unhappy. But in terms of Liverpool going forward in the top 4 race coming up, they've drawn back into it now, really, because obviously Chelsea dropped points. I wasn't fussed before the game until after Chelsea lost, but we're in there now. So time will tell with Liverpool. I don't think they'll fall into those top 4 spaces, but really good. Really, really impressed with Liverpool yesterday. And Trent Alexander-Arnold was fantastic as well. I mean, what a wild decision for Southgate to leave him out and for him to perform like that.
How is that a wild decision? He's not playing well. So
No,
he gets dropped. This is what I'm saying about. This is why Jose keeps complaining.
Hold on. So Dyer and Trippier playing well.
Jose good.
So we're gonna reward players that are playing poorly.
But have you watched Trippier? Have you watched Trippier?
Trippier's been banned.
Watch Trippier.
He's been playing about 9 times this season.
No, but what I'm saying is, yeah, just the fact that someone got dropped for a couple of games.
He got dropped because Liverpool playing poor.
He got dropped for San Marino and Albanian. And come on, guys, like, just let Southgate do his thing. Like, relax.
No. Sorry, I was going to swear, but
No.
Dyer and Trippier are being rewarded for what? Trippier's playing 9
Dyer's
games.
awful as well. Dyer was awful.
Okay, so why is he in the squad then?
But Dyer's not a right back.
So has he been playing good?
Is Wan-Bissaka been playing better than Trent? Yes or no?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so was he in the squad?
The reason why
we're not whinging and moaning about it.
He's not as good as Trent. He's not as good as Trippier. He's not as good as Walker. He's not as good as Reece James. He's not as good as James Justin and these guys. That's why he's going to Congo, bro. So
you know when someone says G, you know that they already know they got it wrong.
But the thing is, yeah, the issue I have is the way Trent played yesterday was a big fuck you, excuse my language, to Southgate. It really was.
But this is what I'm saying. Why are we so soft like that? Because a guy got dropped for 2 games for England.
I don't mind. He's staying.
That's my whole point. Like, that should benefit Liverpool then.
I know it's great. He stays in Kirby and does what he does for 3 weeks, which we ultimately had. But the reason why he got dropped simply is because Liverpool playing poor. There's no other reason. He wasn't.
Why else do you get dropped?
Hold on. Listen, Trent was our best player. The reason why we're in the last 8 in the Champions League. But people won't talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about Wan-Bissaka sliding in all the time.
Oh, but I'm saying over the course of the past few weeks, where Southgate's looking at everybody, who's been playing better? Wan-Bissaka or Trent? You just said Wan-Bissaka, and he didn't get picked.
Southgate will never ever even look at Wan-Bissaka when he's playing a back 5.
Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is that you've just admitted that Wan-Bissaka is playing better than Trent, and Wan-Bissaka never got selected. So why are you moaning then?
That's because Southgate plays a back 5 and all that stuff. If he wants to play right centre back ahead of Walker, I can understand that. But I don't rate Kyle Walker like that anyway. But
you don't rate Kyle Walker? Oh, see, this is what I'm saying, man. Just a disrespect.
There's no disrespect. Kyle Walker's not a good footballer. I mean, anyways, we're going to move on. We're going to go on to Arsenal. Let me know in the comments. Was Southgate right to drop Alexander?
Yes, he was. Well done, Southgate. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the pressure.
I know you have a weird vendetta because Trent can't defend, supposedly can't defend.
No. I know. Listen, Sterling has turned Trent inside out all day long this season. So I can go back to clips and snips, whatever you want, I can show you. But what I'm saying is that form-wise,
Sterling probably should have done it in the Champions League against Liverpool, but here he is.
Yeah.
No Champions League
Form-wise, Trent has not been playing well. He doesn't get selected for England. Move on. This whole, I've seen podcasts, I've seen Micah Richards talking
All
about
right,
it.
we're gonna disagree.
Liverpool, like, get over it. You didn't got selected, so what?
Fine. I mean, he had a rest. Play like that against Arsenal was fine. We won 3-0. So
yeah, you won.
I just feel like it's because Liverpool did. But let's see who was correct. Let me know in the comments below. But we'll come on to Arsenal now because I wanted to come on to Arsenal. I thought Arsenal were very abject, very poor. I don't remember a real chance. Sitting back, the midfield wasn't great. Ibs spoke to you on WhatsApp. You're really unhappy with the midfield. Where did it all go wrong for Arsenal last night?
Liverpool absolutely battered Arsenal yesterday. It was an absolute battering. It was literally men versus boys, or men versus men who are only going to get up for Thursday games. Legit. That's how it was. These Arsenal players are only going to get up for Thursday's games. These Prem games are, it's not like they can get in the top four. So I know Nacy's shaking his head, but it's just an opinion thing here, innit? For me, I'm just saying.
We're not up for Thursdays either, bro. You saw that last result.
No, I'm just saying. Liverpool battered Arsenal yesterday. It was a professional performance. They did what Arsenal couldn't do. Arsenal couldn't string 5 passes together. It was a proper poor Arsenal performance. Yeah, there's not much I can even say, if I'm honest. There was no bite. I'm not even going to sit here and say injuries. We didn't have Saka. It was just poor. It was awful. We beat this Liverpool team last season with Reece Nelson in the team. And like this year, we just got absolutely pummeled by a team who has inexperienced centre-backs and they weren't even tested at all. Do you know what I mean? That's not good enough. So yeah, that's my recap.
Yeah, simple recap. It's just simple as that, really. I'll come on to you, Nathan, in a second because I'll ask you a long-term question on Arteta.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready for that one. That's
you're ready for that one.
That's why I do you a quick recap. Because
I don't think you are, bro.
No, I am. Don't know about that one.
I can see you looking at your notes, bro. I can see you looking at your notes.
I've come prepared today with notes. I've come prepared with notes. I am ready. I am sick to death of this team. But
I got no smoke about Arteta. You lot don't listen. That's your problem. But hopefully it will get in your head after today.
All right, let's get straight into it then. Does Arteta have an excuse? Obviously, I know Ibi was saying that no excuse, but then Saka was playing a lot. Does he have an excuse? And just simply because of he's not getting the best out of his team.
All right, let's start the show now. So because I've seen guys, you understand, mentioning people's names when they're not even on the show, getting it twisted, talking about, you understand, hairlines. And I mean, first of all, if you really back a manager that bad, you don't have to use my name to say, oh, yeah, I know Nacy thinks about it. No, just if you think Arteta's so great and that, cool, think Arteta's great on your own, you don't have to use me. Don't mention me when I'm not on the show. Understand? Now, I know we're always hearing this and that. Yeah. If I use my coaching hat on, if I use my coaching hat and think about Arteta's tactics and that, then yeah, I'm looking at the tactics and yeah, I can see this and that. Like what I can see here, if you look at the tactics here and you want to talk about Arteta now, let's go to the root of where we came with this Arteta thing from. Yeah. Now, Arteta, when he came in, we had the players that we had. Why are you laughing, G? I've got my coaching hat on, G. What are you talking about? Relax. Listen, when Arteta came in here, we had the players that we had at the start, right? And I said to people, with this crop of players that we have, why are you guys so gassed? Because Arteta is giving fancy press conferences. Lo and behold, guys are saying with their coaching hat on, this and that, they can see if the players. So you've just come full circle to say the same thing that I was saying from the start. Why are you telling me this about Arteta's players back him? When I told you before the guys signed, look at the squad we have. It's not going to be any different from Emery. And if we look at the stats, in fact, we can see very clearly it is worse. You understand? We have won 12 games and lost 12 games. It's even. How can you? We've never lost, apparently, in the Premier League or the whatever it was called before, history, we've never lost more than 11 games. We have lost a total of 12 games, a whole Arsenal. You understand? I told you, we knew we had these players from the jump. So I don't want to hear about Arteta back in because guys were saying, especially after the back of the FA Cup, yeah, that he was going to do this and that. And this was the questions that I was asking. People have now used that to spin a narrative that I am anti-Arteta. No, that what I was telling you at that time, when we had that squad, whichever manager comes in, it is going to be a big job. Guys want to say, okay, Arteta's done this and that at City. He's used to winning at City. Excuse me. it's like a guy in school who's got bare older brothers and he comes in year 7 and everyone thinks he's a bad boy. No, he's just got 4 older brothers. Once those brothers have left now, you're on your own. You're not at City, Arteta. This is Arsenal. We said from the beginning, this job's too big for him. Plus the lack of backing, if you want to call it, it's a problem. You understand? It was a big, big delusion to think that Arteta was going to come in and just spin things around because he had an FA Cup run. Very, 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 very concerning. Now, if you want to say Arteta is blameless, we still cannot even say that. Because if we look at some of his decisions, we look at the Willian decision, ridiculous. We look at the decision to re-sign Luiz. We look at the keeper fiasco. A lot of fans, after Martinez had that run, a lot of fans were like, whoa, hang on a second. We've got a gem here. We've got a 6'6" guy who has been on the bench for 10 years, who's never given a chance. He's finally getting a chance. He's taken it. He's looking a lot more certified than Leno. We've seen Leno looking shaky. So he is culpable. Now, please understand, again, I am not anti-Arteta. This goes back to when he came in, we had this group of players and people were saying, I can see this and I can see that. He's saying this and that in his press conferences, but they don't want to talk about how it's hard for him to bench Bellerin because he has a friendship with him. This guy is coming out to say these things with his own mouth. These things are all culpable. You cannot be telling me, and you're a manager. But if you're a manager, you're the same guy that said certain things when you came in. Certain things are non-negotiable. Those were his exact words. But it's clearly not non-negotiable because you cannot put your friendship to the side with Bellerin and you keep starting him when we've seen the performances that Cedric Suarez has had. It's ridiculous. Even Chambers has performed better than Bellerin when he's come in. So Arteta is culpable to a degree, but please, I don't like this narrative where people are trying to spin it that I'm anti-Arteta. No, I am anti-Arteta. You lot's delusion that Arteta was going to come in and change things, okay? And now we've seen that your deluded point has not come to fruition. So talk about that. Now, bring out your notes, Ibs. Thank you.
Okay, can I go now? Yeah, okay.
I wanted to ask a question before you did, yeah. I have said before what Nacy was saying, the lack of, or the so-called trust in Willian, Luiz, Bellerin. I mean, I saw James play against West Ham. I thought it was great. That's a big problem. And I think that's something that needs to be snapped up. And I think even with Klopp, even when Lampard in his first season, he managed to get in the Champions League still, Guardiola, they still managed to get rid of all of that rut. And I think slowly, by season, they'll do it. But I don't see in Arteta, he's going to get rid of the rut in terms of Luiz. Yeah. That's my only thing. And
I just realised, sorry, I haven't even answered the question directly. Does he have an excuse? I'm sorry, I can't say so. Like, does he have leeway? I can say does he have yes. But does he have an excuse? No. Not when you look at some of the decisions that he's made and some of the players that he's brought in, some players that are meant to be good. I mean, it's not his fault that Partey hasn't performed yet. A lot of Arsenal fans don't want to talk about it. We're sweeping it under the carpet, but he has not performed yet. That's just the fact of it. He hasn't delivered. So, I mean, Tierney, injury prone. Again, that's not his fault. That wasn't his signing. There's been things that have worked against him, but I mean, people often say, and it's just funny, people only use certain cliches when it suits their narrative. All I've heard certain men on this channel say for years is it's a results business. It's a results business. Now it's about backing. It's just interesting. People always change their cliches due to to fit their narrative. Like, is it results? Is it backing? If it's results, it's a problem. If it's style of play, I'm not really seeing. You understand? Apparently, a couple of weeks ago, they were telling us he's improved the defense, but we've downloaded 6 goals in the last 2 games, fans. There is a lot of delusion in the Arsenal camp that Arteta's changed this and changed that. People really get gassed. You see me, I don't listen to people's words and what they say. I'm not easily fooled. I don't listen to chat. I close my eyes. I watch matches on mute for a reason. You understand? I close my eyes and I watch 90 minutes, not highlights, and I analyze for myself. You can tell when people talk on this channel who's really sitting down and watching matches and who's watching highlights. It's big.
Wow. Okay. Ibs, do you want to wrap up the Arsenal talk? I'm sure you've got a lot to say.
I feel like he took up all my time today, to be fair.
Go ahead and take us on.
I don't think he has an excuse, no, if I'm honest. I love the guy in it, and I've said on his channel many times, Arsenal are like 4 years away, but from anything, personally. But he doesn't have an excuse because there's been too many favourites continuing to play, i.e. the Luizes, the Williams, the Pepes, the Lacazettes, Xhaka to a standard. Cedric, Bellerin. I can name loads of people, but I think at the same time, he does get a bit of leeway because they're not all these players. But what I can say to that is he needs to find a way to work with these players, because if he doesn't, he's gonna get found out. And it's probably why people get onto my back about Xhaka, but in the 13 games he hasn't played in, Arsenal have won 2. And if you can't find someone who is better than him or good enough, he has to play. There's no other way about it. Your centre mids otherwise than him are trash. Partey is not performing. So unless people really want to get realistic, he has to play. People can shake their head, but that's my point, right? Aubameyang has to play down the middle. Either you play him... Wait, let me get to it first. He has to play down... Wait. He has to play down the middle unless you're going to play Martinelli down the middle and put him on the left, right? Simple as that. Otherwise, don't play him. I was an advocate to play Lacazette in the middle and have 2 wingers. So no one can chat shit and say I'm not. But if you're going to play Aubameyang left wing, please put Martinelli up front. Don't have Lacazette there. There's so many issues with Arsenal that, I don't know, Arteta needs to sort it out. He has to be backed, but Arsenal are not going to go buy 4 centre mids, 2 right backs, a striker, a winger, none of that. So it's just a transitional thing. He don't have an excuse, but I'm happy to give him time. But he needs to start weeding out some of these players. And if I'm honest, people like David Luiz and who, like, yeah, he's 34, but gee, like, Arsenal ain't got much better centre-backs at this moment. So you're relying on guys like that when it shouldn't be, but it is. Arsenal are literally Europa League or bust. And if you don't win these Europa League games, just start weeding them guys out now, play the kids and whatever not, and then come end of the season, you just got to get new guys in. Simple as that. And to Nacy's point about the fact that, Arsenal ain't really improved dramatically, etc. I agree there, but defensively, they have conceded less in his 50 games compared to Unai and Wenger's last 50 games.
No, yeah, let me not even, let's not front. No, let me just not say that for the record. Let's not front. Sorry, defensive shape, there's been an improvement. That's to agree with you. Yeah. I want front on that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's improved, but it's taken away the attacking play. So he has to find some sort of balance there to make it work. Because as much as I'm happy not conceding much and having a better defensive shape, it's affected how we are going forward. So he has to find a way to bring that together. Otherwise, next season, you'll get the same. You might beat a big team, but you're going to get these whack results against these weird teams.
No, bro. How did he, bro? The attack wasn't that good before either, bro. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Arsenal scored goals under Unai. Arsenal banged goals. No, but they did score goals.
Bro, we came a lot from behind. The Unai games were boring as well, bro. The Unai games were boring.
Yeah, they were, but Arsenal still scored. With Arteta, we're not scoring like. We got 3 against West Ham, but it's not like I can look at it and think, we're going to score today. But defensively, we're more sound. He has to.
You're forgetting you're thinking about the first half of Unai's games when he had that fake unbeaten run that people were talking about. Yeah. After that, bro, go and look. We weren't scoring, bro. If you remember.
Look at his Europa League run. Unai was banging. But this is the thing. It's so weird because if now Arsenal do well in the Europa League and somehow that competition, although it's great because we've been in Champions League, it will mask so much. Thank you.
I'm so glad you said that. Thank you.
In a way, I want to win the cup, but I don't want Arteta to look at it and think, all right, cool, guys, we've won this. I can look at people like Willian, give Luiz a new contract, maybe, give these people another year and 2, 3, 4, because I don't feel like that's deserved. If you win it, you have to go out there and still replace. Otherwise, we'll have the exact same season and get moved in the Champions League. And that's embarrassing.
Just to clear something up.
I'm so glad you said that. I agree.
Just to clear something up. Under Unai, you guys scored 73 goals. In Arteta last season, you scored 50 something, and this season you scored 40.
My point. So even in Emirates 51 games, Arsenal scored 91. In Arteta's, it's 72. In Wenger's last 50, it was 96. So it's the goals ain't coming. But defensively, under Arteta, we've conceded least.
This has been my problem. I've said this though about Arteta. I feel like he just sets up
not to lose. And I get that. Obviously, the players.
Oh, he was Pep's Cody. How's that working?
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. Look, with Arsenal, I agree with Nacy. The players ain't good enough, but at the same time, I now have to look at Arteta. I'm in the sense that yes, it looks good. In the sense when you play out from the back, you have more success than you did under Unai, for example, and it looks cleaner. But in terms of actual attacking, penetration, and creating chances, or it's weird because some games I'll watch Arsenal and it's like, wow, this looks like Arsenal of old, and then I'll watch some games it's just like, where's the attacking coming from? I don't get it. Now, yesterday I got battled by Ibs, Bearman in the group when I said that Auba should have been playing. He has to come off the left wing now. Like, I don't feel like the defense, you shouldn't be giving him the defensive responsibilities at this point in his career. He's your best goal scoring player. He needs to be playing centre forward.
But the reason why I say that is because his actual expected goals have actually improved since Christmas, and he's been playing out left and up front. So he's not on the decline.
But he's doing all the things. That's Aubameyang as a player. That's him as a player. He's a goal scorer.
So clearly he's not. It's not affecting him playing left wing or up front.
But it is though. It is because okay, if you look at it like this, yeah, they had Phillips and Kabak.
Love this.
Phillips and Kabak centre back, yeah. If you want to test those centre backs, you put your biggest goal scoring threat
I said that at the
forward.
start. I agree. Play him. They're inexperienced, but he didn't. But Arsenal are still. You can't have Pepe, Aubameyang, and Lacazette and still allow Kabak and this guy coming out with a ball cheat. It don't make
Pepe was dreadful yesterday. Pepe was dreadful.
Whether Aubameyang left wing or even right back, G.
Yeah, the one thing I've seen from Arteta, yeah, when Arteta plays Pepe on the left-hand side, I feel he's a lot more direct and he's a lot more of a better player. But instead, he puts Auba there because Auba doesn't want to play right wing.
Just going to wrap it up quickly because we are
makes sense.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's a good discussion to see where Arsenal are heading with Arteta. When obviously talking about Aubameyang in the end there is an interesting one, definitely for sure. But just because we're running out of time, all I'm going to say is just let us know in the comments below, of course, and interact with us on Instagram. Who is right? Is Nacy right? Does Ibs have a point? Does Steles have a point on Aubameyang as well? I do agree with you actually as well, Dan. And yeah, I know Coach said to me off camera, he doesn't want me to mention Arsenal today, but I would have loved to have asked him, but yeah, we're just running out of time. So hopefully we're just going to move on to the next topic because we've got 10, 15 minutes to squeeze a few things in. Sergio Aguero announces he's going to be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. Just quickly, do you think it was a right move for him to eventually move on? And how far would you put him in terms of the top strikers in the Premier League era?
I think it was right for him to move on. I think Pep's starting to just phase him out. He's probably phasing him out from last season, if I'm honest. So this ain't nothing new. If Arteta was smart, I mean, you could put a cheeky bid in and see if Pep and Aguero will do something smart for you. But although it will never happen, that's me living in dream mode. I think he can give you at least 10, 15 goals. But I don't know where he's going to go, if I'm honest. I don't know where he's going to go. But I'd put him, personally, I think he's the second best striker in the Prem ever, after Henry. Okay,
well. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, what legacy has Aguero left in the Premier League?
As he is, honestly, the guy has done so much, carried City for a lot of years, contributed with some amazing goals, amazing moments. And to be fair, I'm very grateful to have watched him, to be honest. Very, 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 very good player.
Well said, Dan. Well said.
Yeah, I think I remember the season he came, obviously Tevez left from United, Aguero was joining, and I know Dan was in the sports group that time, and I remember my exact comment. When Aguero came, United had won the league the season prior, and I said, bro, City are going to win the title this year. People were talking about gel and that. Dan, I don't know if you remember the comment. I said, listen, it doesn't need, forget gel, forget texturizer, relax or whatever. Guarantee you City are going to win the league. Even though it was a tight season on goal difference. But, I mean, what can we say? Aguero, speaking of that season, that alone, forget everything else, that alone's going to go down in history, bro. Like, come on. Like, is there a better title win than that? Maybe some would argue. I wasn't old enough to see it. Arsenal at Anfield 89. Little jab there, you should have, but obviously no one here. No one here.
That game, yeah.
No one here is old enough to remember that. But yeah, that actually be of age to remember a last-minute league goal winning season. That's mad. That's
the greatest Premier League moment of all time, in my opinion. Of all time.
I agree so. Quickly before I move on to Chelsea, Coach, answer one question for me. Aguero, how far would you put him in the Premier League list? Would you put him second like Ibs or?
Yeah, I agree with Ibs, man. He's got to be second. Like even I was going through the list of strikers and whatnot. But yeah, he's done his 10-year bid. Yeah, he's one of the all-time greats in the Premier League, and it's just Henry's above him for me. So I agree with Ibs on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, Aguero. It's going to be sad to see him go in the Premier League, really, even as a Liverpool fan speaking. And yeah, and I'm sure it'll be an emotional farewell for Manchester City supporters in May. Very quickly, I know we've been dragging this along, so we're going to talk about Chelsea's shock result at Stamford Bridge, 12:30. They conceded 5 to West Bromwich Albion at home. Of course, Thiago Silva was sent off at 1-0. Matias Pereira, quick double. Callum Robertson loves scoring against Chelsea, and some liquid Sam Allardyce football as well for some of the goals.
Allardyce, yeah.
Stelios, would it all go wrong for Chelsea, and was Thomas Tuchel brought back into earth in some ways?
Don't shrug your shoulders, Dan.
Well, it's not that deep. I don't get it. It's not that deep. We were 1-0 up. You already mentioned it. The red card changed the game. It's as simple as that. Yes. Did we look as convincing as we did before the international break when we got the 1-0? No, we didn't. But did I see us losing at that point? As soon as we got the 1-goal lead, I didn't see us losing. Now, obviously, the red cards come. I think the red card was harsh personally, just because I think that Thiago Silva was trying to block the ball. I know he slipped and he's gone through the player, but you can see the intent. There's no intent to even go for a tackle there. So I think the red card was harsh personally, but it can go either way. So I can understand if the ref's giving him a red card. Now, at that point, I think the team just capitulated. I think Tuchel was probably hoping that we could make it to half time so then he can make the tactical constructions to see out the game. And I know people are going to say, it's West Brom, why are you going to see out the game? You've got 10 men. Of course, you've got to see out the game at that point. But at the same time, I think when we conceded the first goal, it was just one long ball over the top. Like Zuma probably was a bit slow to react. His body weight was facing the other way, so it was hard for him to turn. But it's one long ball over the top, Allardyce special. They've got one. Now, at 1-1, Tuchel's probably fuming. For us to go 2-1 down is criminal before halftime. Criminal. Yeah. I think that's the biggest mistake for us, or that's what killed us throughout the game, because in the second half, we have to come out now and chase the game. Now, you're 2-1 down at halftime with 10 men. I would rather lose 5-2, go in for the game, than lose 2-1, just chilling. So that's my opinion. Am I panicking? No, I'm not, because it's clear that it was the red card that changed the game. So everyone can make their slight digs or whatever. I don't think there's only bringing that down to earth. We're going to see on Wednesday against Porto. That's my main focus now. I think we have to focus on Champions League now, just because top four is very it's a big battle, and I think that given the draw of the Champions League, Bayern and Man City on the other side, I think that we have a realistic chance now of winning the Champions League. And I know it sounds silly, but I think just given the luck of the draw, we can get to the final, and then it's just a 50-50 coin toss against Bayern or City in the final. Hopefully Dortmund.
You made a good point. I think David Coote was very harsh to give Thiago Silva the second yellow. I think he's an awful referee. That was really harsh, firstly. I think still to capitulate like that was poor. Mm-hmm. And I think even Tuchel was saying himself, he couldn't really point a reason. It was just an unknown reason for that to happen. As soon as it was 1-0 up, I thought Chelsea wins 3-4. I turned it off. And then, fair enough, Dan. I hear what you're saying. And I think it was only the first time that Chelsea really conceded. I think only conceded once before that, Southampton or something, Minamino. Mm-hmm. And Chelsea have definitely been fantastic. I think you're away to Porto first. What do you think? I mean, do you think you can get a win, away goal?
I'm hoping we get the win. But me personally, I prefer playing the second leg away, just because then you know if you need that away goal, if that makes sense. Whereas when you're at home the second leg, you're relying on the work from the first leg and trying to protect that. So I just think, you look at Chelsea's history in Champions League, the times we have to go away ties to Barcelona, for example, and that's always the second leg. So I just have a personal preference to play second leg away from home.
Yeah, same for me as well. Fair enough. I mean, Chelsea fan, let me know, was Tuchel brought back into earth? Some interesting type of games left for Chelsea. I've noted that still got likes of West Ham, Manchester City to play in the top 4 is so tight. It's absolutely so tight. In fact, next week I'm going to ask whoever's on the show who you think is going to finish in the top 4 with 7 games to go. Let's see who's going to be right. So,
do you know what the funniest thing is? For me, of all the teams that I'm concerned about, Everton's the one I'm concerned about the most. I'm concerned about Everton the most because they've just got a clear calendar. They've got some difficult fixtures, but they've got a clear calendar. And West Ham, I think West Ham will do West Ham things and drop points. Liverpool, they're still fighting for Champions League. I think Klopp's focus is going to be thinking, let's just go for the Champions League. But Everton, they're just creeping. I mean, they win their 2 games in hand. They're 4th, and we're at the top 4. So, Ancelotti's going about his business very, very quietly, very quietly.
Fair enough. Interesting opinion. In fact, if West Ham win tomorrow night against Wolves, they will be the next team to fall into the 4th spot. I mean, it's a crazy season. It really is. Right, quickly, we're going to move on. Before I do start some, and so I'd love to have a long discussion on Champions League, Europa League. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the 4 games and the 2 games of the English teams in the Europa League, and then you let me know who you think will win the first leg, or even if it's a draw. So City, Dortmund, City at home. City. Yeah. Real Madrid against Liverpool. Real Madrid at home.
By the way, you're going to let us all answer? Is it just one person each?
Just quickly, one person run out.
Hey, I'm thinking Dortmund are going to get a draw against City. But yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If just shout it out when you can,
All right,
guys. Real Madrid, Liverpool.
Madrid.
Liverpool.
Madrid.
Let's hope so. Porto, Chelsea.
I think Chelsea's going to come away with a win.
Whoa.
I think if Giroud starts, then Chelsea wins.
Forget Giroud. No, I think we can come away with a win without Giroud.
I know
I think we'll come away with a win.
Yeah, I know Coach said Porto last week and he's saying it now. So you reckon Porto, Coach?
Yeah, Porto, definitely, man. Porto.
Is Tammy back, Dan?
Nah, hopefully he's out for the rest of the season.
I'm just saying.
Not injury, just I don't know. I don't know.
Bayern Munich, PSG, because Lewandowski is out for 4 weeks. So
yeah.
First leg, who do you think?
Still Bayern, man.
PSG are trash.
Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Lille at home. Yeah, Jonathan David, the goal scorer.
But Champions League was a different one, man. Get me, you never know.
I think they're gonna get the PSG will get a draw, and then I think they may upset in the second leg.
Okay, cool. Big game, Arsenal against Slavia Prague. So I'm gonna ask Nacy and
how you say big game?
Sorry, Nacy and
big game, bro. Jeez.
That's our level now, bro. You don't understand. You keep thinking about 2004 Arsenal, bro.
Oh no.
It's a big game.
Listen, let me not lie to you. What Slavia did to they scored in Leicester, right?
Yeah.
And who? And Rangers. Hey, thank you. That's the other team, boy. Let me not lie. Obviously, I can't say I've only seen highlights, but boy, them places there, like they just, I don't know, man. Those sort of teams, they look more unified, bro, and they seem very intense. Like Arsenal, we're so disjointed at the moment. It's very hard to predict an Arsenal win, bro. Obviously, I'll hope for Arsenal, but wait, who's going to that first? Or is it neutral team?
I think it's at Arsenal.
I don't know what's going on.
It's at the Emirates.
It's at the Emirates.
And Emirates is a hotel, bro. That doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Let me
be realistic. I think Arsenal win, but Arsenal either have to win 3-0 or 4-1.
You're joking me, bro. I don't think you're going to score that many goals.
Arsenal cannot be getting into that game.
Alright, Dan, you're a mug on this phone call. You're this. You know that, bro.
Arsenal's not going to score that many goals, bro. And without Saka as well, I think you guys are in trouble, bro.
It's true. I just don't want to say it out of my mouth.
That's it. I'm going to say Arsenal are going to win, though, but Arsenal.
Yeah. I'm going to be with him. So Arsenal will win.
Okay. And lastly, the other game, Granada against Man United. Granada at home, coach, away goal. Win United. What do you think?
Yeah, but we've got a win in it. It's only a last chance of a trophy, so I'll go for United.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I'm going for a Soldado brace.
United win, man.
Soldado.
Soldado, bloody hell. All right, cool. Start summer, so we've got to be quick. I can't believe I can't be asked for an discussion and argument. So, Samuel, you've done me dirty personally on this one. So, start summer, so Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, the original.
Sam was a waste, man.
Hold on.
Say it is again.
Stevie G, Lampard, and Scholes.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
The fact that Patrick Vieira's not in there is criminal because he clears all of them. But anyway, it's Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. Simple as that. Simple as that.
All right, I'm gonna go Stevie G, Lampard, and Scholes. Dan?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
go
Dan.
Stevie G, Lampard, Scholes. And I
Oh
know
wow, you think Gerrard ahead of
people,
Lampard?
people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, the football Scholes played. He's great on the bro." I'm looking to get results, man. Gerrard in big games, big moments, wins you finals. Lampard wins you finals. Scholes has good games.
Dan, you're my new favorite man. I swear to you. Coach, your turn.
Take Gerrard, Scholes, and I'll sell Lampard.
Wow.
Greatest goal scorer midfielder. Sell him. Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Nacy,
I'm not interested in Lampard. Lampard's just one of those
What does that mean,
overrated
bro?
players
What does that
and
mean?
whatnot. And you know, it's people talking about things before, but yo, with Jose, listen, Jose made Lampard. Simple.
Okay. All right,
Jose made Lampard. No, I'm joking. No, but seriously, in terms of Lampard, I just think he's over compared to the other two. I think he's overrated.
Can't call him overrated with that goal scoring record, bro. In midfield, you can't.
Listen, I know people look at stats. I look at performances. So,
but if anything, but even in performances, though, he had solid performances for Chelsea.
Come on, man, he can never
Solid
play in midfield too. It showed you. Look at how Gerrard was with Scholes against Germany, and look at how Lampard looked at with Gerrard. It's just completely two different waves of footballers, man. Like Lampard cannot play in a midfield two. We all know that. He only gets joy out of a midfield three. And then when he runs into the box and scores, everyone's, it's Lampard. But Lampard cannot control a game. I've seen Scholes control a game. I've seen Gerrard.
I swear Scholes retired, came back to United and won the league for 6 months.
Come on, man. Like,
I'm just saying.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, because it was Scholes that won the title that
year. Yeah, trust.
He won every game.
Goal at City. Did he not score an important header against City?
Oh, so that won them the whole league. That won them.
Okay, so what did Lampard do? What did Lampard do? What did Lampard do?
Guys,
What did Lampard do?
Okay,
guys, I just want to know what Nacy thinks.
Samuel knows what he's trying to do because the sports group know what's going on. He's trying to get me lit up in the comments, bro. I'll talk to you offline, Shahab, bro. I'll sell all three. Safe. Let's end the show.
Can I ask you again? Come on, gotta give us something.
All right. Now I'll go off of my personal preference in it. Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes.
Okay, fair enough.
Starting Lampard.
Damn, that's it. Let's close the show, bro. Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes.
Respect, man.
Respect. You know what? I just thought you'd say Lampard because of being a Chelsea supporter. But the fact that your reasoning doesn't make sense. I think Lampard.
What part of it makes sense? Seriously.
In a big game, Gerrard.
In a big, but what I'm saying is that what is the criteria? This is what I'm saying. You can't keep moving the goalposts. Are we talking about each player in their prime? Is that what we're talking about?
But even in prime, if you say all three prime in a final, you still choose Gerrard, bro.
Sam always says that.
What I'm saying is, you're talking about a final and whatnot, but Lampard has already played well in a midfield three. He's never played in anything but that. He's never played well in anything but that.
Yeah, but
he had Gerrard. He had the golden era in England. He had Gerrard. He had Gerrard next to him with England. What did he do?
But I don't think that's a balanced midfield, personally.
Why is it not a balanced midfield? You've got the great Lampard.
But I think Lampard is a goal threat. Gerrard box to box, but there's no holding defensive pivot.
So you just made my point. That means you're saying that Lampard cannot play. Lampard cannot play with a midfield. You can't play in a midfield.
How many teams play 4-4-2 today? How many top teams play 4-4-2 today?
No, but you're talking about today. I'm even talking about back then. He can't play in a two.
Yeah, but
he's shown you enough. You can't play in a two.
Yeah, but the reason why that argument is dumb because you're not forgetting that there's a bit of a crossover. Yeah, Lampard is the youngest of those three, and he came at that transitional period where you understand the four midfield was kind of going out. But I mean, if you go and look at Scholes was playing on pitches that look like Hackney Marshes, bro. Like, come on, it's different. It's you got to be careful. It's the same era, but there's a bit of a transition. Like football changed when you understand towards the. Lampard was obviously he was an older guy at that age, but he was. You get me? I'm just basing off in terms of we're not talking about even players that haven't played with each other before. We are talking about players that have played with each other, and you can see that. And they were all dead at that World Cup when everyone was talking about England gold. That's I'll sell all. Anyway, let me not go in because the English egg and bacon words will come from me in the comments.
Again, bakes.
I'm saying.
Right, I'm just gonna wrap it up now. I'm gonna wrap it up. Sorry. Samuel, I knew one day would come, but fair enough. That is the choice. Who is your start, Samuel? Lampard, Gerrard, or Scholes? and why?
If they weren't English, they would be a lot less rated than they are, all three.
Okay, so
I
a
agree.
lot on the show, of course. United round up, obviously, Sancho or Haaland. We're talking about Tottenham, Mourinho, Macy's round, of course, Liverpool briefly, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Southgate, Arteta, long one, Thomas Tuchel, Aguero, Champions League, Europa League.
Shut up. Hold on. What happened with Valencia? I'm just reading it.
Oh, yes. Well, we are running out of time. So, Diakabi was allegedly racially abused by Juan Cala from Cadiz, and Valencia walked off. So, yeah, guys, I mean, taking matter into his own hands.
Applaud it. Applaud it.
Yeah, we've got to applaud it.
The player's face looked so guilty. He even went to go and talk to his coach, and like it even looked like he said to his coach, "I think I fucked up here." Like, that's what it looked.
I'm just trying to look at it.
That's what it looked like. He said, but obviously he covered his mouth. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And I hope Arsenal win against Slavia Prague because of what Andrej did to Kamara. So yeah, let's see what happens, and we'll be back next week. Thanks very much, guys, for being on the show. And yeah, we're here next week. Have a nice